Okay, today we're working in section 6.8, the coordinate plane. We are in our books on page 293. So the coordinate plane you can think of like a map. Okay, the coordinate plane is a map, and so the first thing I need to do is I need to draw my map. Now you should have your papers divided into 4 sections. In the top left section, so you're not taking the entire paper. Those creases are not where you draw the grid lines. You work only in the top left section, okay? I want you to divide that section with a vertical line and divide it again with a horizontal line right in the middle. Your horizontal line is your x-axis and your vertical line is your y-axis. All right, now that I have, okay, now here's what's important too. The horizontal line, I want you to label it with an X. It can just be real small, just right on the end of the line. If you want to do it in the middle of the page, it can, kind of share between graphs. All right, so you're going to label the horizontal line with an X and the vertical line with a Y. Now, another thing that I want to point out to you is that this point right here, right in the middle, okay, where the X and the Y intersect, you see this? Right here? This point is what we call the point of origin. This is always our starting point. Okay? So, from the point of origin, this is probably the most important part. I want you to skip a line and label each one exactly like I'm doing here. A positive 2, skip 1, a negative 2, skip 1, a positive 2 on the Y, and skip 1, a negative 2. Okay, and here's what we're doing. We're setting up our numbering, but think about it in terms of a number line. When I start at my 0, all the numbers to the right of 0, are they positive or negative? They're positive, right? All the numbers to the right of 0 are positive. All the numbers to the left of 0 are negative. So the same thing applies with our coordinate plane. And then if you think about vertically, well, anything higher, or if I'm going up, it's going to be positive. And if I'm going down, it's going to be negative. Okay, so that's why they're positive and negative. Okay, everybody skip a block. Make sure you're skipping that first block. Okay, everybody's looks good. Now we're going to continue numbering out on each side of the axis. So on the right side of X, I go 2, and then make sure you skip a block in between each number. 2, 4, 6, and 8. On the left side of X, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, and negative 8. And then keep going. Okay, so let's finish off X. Okay, so now we number Y the same way. We skip 1, okay, 2, 4, 6, and 8, and we make sure we're skipping in between each one. And then in the negatives, we skip 1. And again, we think of everything in terms of, and don't circle this part on your, but I'm just showing you. We think of everything in terms of where your point of origin is. So your point of origin, everything to the right is positive, everything to the left is negative. Everything above the point of origin is positive, and below the point of origin is negative. We always think of the coordinate plane in reference to the point of origin. Like I said, don't circle that because that's going to mess up your graph. I'm just showing you. Okay, so now I have my numbering set up. Does anybody need more time to finish their numbering?
No,
okay, so here's our map. Here's our map. This is our map. Okay, well, what do you need in order to find out where to go on the map? What do you need? You need directions or a key, right? You need directions to know where to go on the map. Well, our directions for the coordinate plane are called ordered pairs. Our ordered pairs take the form of 2 numbers inside the parentheses. Okay? Yes, I want you to go ahead and write these coordinates on the top left part of your paper. Write them real small because you don't want them to take up space inside your graph. All right? But here's what it is, and you don't have to write this part that I'm writing in red. The first number in my ordered pair is my X value, and the second number in my ordered pair is my Y value. So the first number tells me where do I go on the x-axis, and the second number tells me which way do I go on the y-axis. All right, so take a minute to write down these 4 ordered pairs. The first number is the x value, and the second number is the y value. Okay, so here's what we do. Now we're going to plot these points on our graph. Point A. Well, if our x value is positive 3, I'm going to go right 3. And then my y value is negative 2. So do you think you're going to go up 2 or down 2? Down 2. So I go over 3, down 2, and I plot my point and label it point A. Plot my point and I label it point A. You see what I did? 3 was positive. That's my x. So I went right 3. Negative 2. So I go down 2, plot my point. So let's look at B. Okay, hold on. That's the first one. Guys, listen. That was the first one. Let's look at point B now. What is our x value for point B?
Down.
No, hold on. What's the x value? Tell me the number. Negative 4. So start at your point of origin. Do I go left 4 or right 4? Left 4. Now what's my y value?
You go up.
5. So I go left 4, up 5, and I plot my point. Left 4, up 5, and I plot my point, and I label it a B. And I label it a B. Okay, let's see who can do point C. Who can do point C? Right, so did you plot point C right there? Negative 3, negative 1. Who got that right? Negative 3, negative 1. Okay, now let's look at point D. Point D is at 7, 0. 7, 0. Where do you think that one's going to go? Okay. And then do you go anywhere on Y?
No.
So your point goes right on the line. Right on the line. Huh? You don't have an 8? Well, do you have a 7? Just squeeze it in on the end. That's fine. It's on a 7. Okay, so listen up, guys. I need your eyes and ears up here. Okay? So now I've plotted these 4 points. Well, on your quiz and your test, it's going to ask you to plot the point and describe the location. The location involves quadrants. Okay? My quadrants are labeled like this, and I kind of labeled them out of order, but that's okay. Quadrant 1 is in the top right. Quadrant 2 is in the top left. Quadrant 3, bottom left. Quadrant 4, bottom right. And you have to write them in Roman numerals. So go ahead and label your quadrants. Label your quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so what's the location of point B?
Quadrant 2.
Quadrant 2. What's the location of point C?
Quadrant 3.
What about point A?
Quadrant 4.
What about point D?
Quadrant 4.
Quadrant in the middle.
No, there's no such thing. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. When it's right on the line, whichever axis it's on, that is the location. So it would be x-axis. The location would be the x-axis. All right, do you think you can do 4 more? All right, here we go. Point W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so now, well, yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, so point W is going to be at negative 4, negative 5. Point X is going to be at 0, 6. Point Y is going to be at 6, negative 4. And point Z is going to be at negative 6, 3. Okay? All right, so go ahead. And if you don't have room to write those ordered pairs, just go off of the screen. I just want the points labeled on your graph. Go ahead and just label the points on your graph. Okay, point W. Follow along. Make sure you got it right. Negative 4, down 5, point W. Point X. Do I go left or right any? Nope. Then I just go up or down 6. Up 6. So point X is right on. What's the location for point X? Y-axis. All right. What about point Y? I go right or left 6? I go right 6 and then down 4. 6 is positive. Right 6, down 4. Point Y. Okay, so for a Z, do I go left or right 6? Left 6, up or down 3? Up 3, left 6, up 3. Point Z. Point Z. All right, did anybody get all 4 of those right? Good. Good. Anybody just miss 1? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so you have a section on your quiz and your test and your homework just like this. Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and number a second graph. So we're starting on a clean graph. I want you to number a second graph. No, it should be just in the next quadrant. Yeah, just in the next one over. Next section over on your paper.
No, it's not. It's confusing.
Okay, so number a second graph, and I want you to plot these 4 points.
We have to write it on the paper.
Sorry, guys, I wrote the wrong ordered pairs. Do these ordered pairs. You're going to see it's going to form a shape, okay? And it's actually just like number 26 on your homework, which is why we're doing it.
Is it going to form like Mario?
Oh, no. Okay, so now I go right 3, down 4. Point E. Did you do your point there? Okay, that's point E. Now I go left 1, down 4. Negative 1, down 4. That's point F. Then I go negative 1, down 5. Then I go over 3, down 5. And look, it forms a rectangle. But I'm not done yet. I want to know what is the length, what is the width, and what is the area of this rectangle. You're counting the units. Okay, so how many units is the length?
4.
How many units is the width?
1.
So what's 4 times 1?
4.
Did you square it? When you find the area, you always square the unit. Okay?
4 squared.
4 units squared. Or you could say 4 square units. Either one would be fine.
4 squared.
In the top left section, I want you to write your name at the very top left-hand corner. Write your name. And then directly underneath it, I want you to write the assignment. 6.8, page 296, numbers 7 through 26 all. In the very top left-hand section, you write your name and the assignment. In the very top left-hand section. This whole section, guys, so you don't have to squish it all together. You're going to number numbers 7 through 16. 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can number it just like this because this is what it says in your book too. No, I didn't. Okay? All right, so this is numbers 7 through 16 in your book. Now, mine's squished together because I don't have as much room. You can use that whole top left-hand section. So don't squish them all together, okay? Numbers 7 through 16, you're going to answer in the top left section. Okay, so what's the point for point A? 2, 2. So next to A, in parentheses, you're going to write 2, 2. So you need room on your paper to squeeze that in. The ordered pair for point A is 2, 2. So that's how you're going to do 7 through 16. Any questions? You're going to write the ordered pair that matches the point. Now, on 17 through 20, you're going to do all 4 of those points on one graph. Now, obviously, mine looks smaller because I don't have as much room, but you have the whole section. So you're going to, just like we just did on your notes, you're going to set up, you're going to draw your line all the way through the top right section. Go ahead and set up your X and your Y axis. Draw the line right through the middle, and then right through the middle again, and then you start numbering. Okay, so 17 through 20, that's in the top right. Then 21 through 25 is in the bottom left. Or sorry, 24. Number 26 is in the bottom right. So you're going to have 3 graphs on your homework tonight. So 3 times you're going to set up your numbers. -2, -4, negative. You're just going to number everything 3 times. Then on the back of your paper, turn your paper over, You're going to do number 25 on the back of your paper. Okay? And that's how I want you to set up your homework. If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 6.8.